Hey, today we're going to take a look at flexibility. I'm not talking about sticking your leg behind your head like a pretzel contortionist. I'm talking about flexibility in your auditions, in your performances. Let's talk a little bit more about that after the bump. Hey everyone, I am Doug Fall, your augmented actor, helping you augment your acting career with tips, tactics, and tech. We're taking your career into the future. It's important for an actor to be flexible and malleable. A director wants to be able to take what you give them and then shape it and see how directable you are. This is particularly important in auditions when a director is evaluating whether they are going to be able to communicate and work with you and whether you're going to respond in a flexible manner. If you've ever taken an improv class, the first thing you're going to learn is an exercise called yes and that's basically anytime a character puts you in a situation, they suggest something by saying, hey, look at this bird, and you don't say, there's no bird there. You say, oh yes, and the bird has purple wings. And they say, yes, and purple is my favorite color. You say yes to what is thrown at you, and then you add your own things onto it. And that's the heart of being flexible, just saying yes to any idea that is thrown out there. When a director in an audition tells you to do your monologue again and try this with it, they're not telling you you did it wrong. They're not saying you're a bad actor, so don't be defensive about it. Encourage that kind of exchange because it means that the director liked what you did and they want to see more of it. Don't take offense, play with what they want to do. And when that happens, just listen very carefully to what they're saying and try your best to deliver it. So how can you train yourself to become more flexible? Well, I'm about to tell you that. Let's talk about this in terms of monologues. You want to do all sorts of variations on that monologue. If you learn a monologue that has a dialect, like a British dialect or a Southern dialect, practice it with that dialect, but also practice it without that dialect. If a director asks you to do it without the dialect, you're prepared. You also might want to try doing that same monologue in a different dialect because it helps you discover different ways, different inflections of saying that piece. Get you out of your rut. On the Augmented Actor Facebook group, please join it. There's a link down below. One of the actors on the site said that in their acting class, one of the most valuable lessons they learned was that when you have a piece, find how you would obviously do that piece and then do the exact opposite. Come up with the least obvious approach. You probably thought, well, that's the right way to say this line and that's the right way to do this, and my character wouldn't do that. Throw all that out the window. Do it the way you think you should do it, but then try doing it the exact opposite. Ways that you can do that are by varying your pitch, your intensity, your tempo. Vocally go way up here and way down here and speed up the things and get really excited and then don't.
Funny little voices like animals.
Play with all those different variations. I'm a big advocate for taping yourself and watching yourself. When you do that, you will see where you're doing something rigidly, where it seems like it's rehearsed. Observe yourself doing the piece, not in the mirror, but on camera. Ask a friend to give you some different ways to perform a monologue. Sometimes we limit ourselves with what we can think of. So if you ask a friend, how could I do this monologue differently? Give me a different approach. They might say,
do it like a monkey in the zoo.
Do it like you're an
angry housewife doing dishes and yelling at her kids.
And then actually try playing around with that. It may not be right for the monologue, but it will break you out of your rut. Give your piece to another actor friend of yours. Have them interpret it the way they think is the right way. Watch how they do it. You will be surprised at the different inflections and the different approaches that another actor will take on the piece, and it can open up your mind to being more flexible with it yourself. Finally, if you're acting properly, I suppose is the word, you will have an objective in the scene. What does your character want? Also, you might have an obstacle in the scene. What is your character trying to overcome? What's getting in your character's way? Sometimes those things are dictated by the script, what you want overall in a show and what you want at that moment. Now, to be more flexible, try changing what you want to something totally different. Also change the obstacle that's in your way. Even if it's something that's not in the script and doesn't apply to the monologue, giving yourself a different obstacle to overcome will break you out of a rut. So change the want and change the obstacle. Just practice doing your monologue in totally weird, bizarre ways. And then that way, when somebody gives you some direction, you'll have already done all that work and it'll be easy for you to make an adjustment. And that's all I got for you. I will see you next time. Bye.